Good morning, or afternoon, or evening. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Good morning. Today is Tuesday, August 31st, 2021. As you can see, I'm in my J-Wagon. It's not a G-Wagon by Mercedes, it's the J-Wagon. It's the Jeep Wrangler by Jeep. Now you may say, Mikey Pipes, you're a millionaire. Why are you driving around a J-Wagon? Well, that's because I don't want to spend $200,000 on a G-Wagon. But I tell you when I will spend it. When I earn about $10,000 a month off YouTube. It's coming. It really is coming. But nonetheless, I was heading over to the mailbox real quick. I got a stack of letters here. Not letters. Stack of envelopes. Stickers. I got one going to Canada, and I got about 3 or 4 others going out to the United States. I'm going to go dump them in the mailbox and get on with the day. All right, stay tuned for today's video. You're not going to want to miss it. It's either going to be a steam boiler repair or a zone panel repair. One system, 2 zones. So let's see. Let's see what you're going to get. Because I feed you, because I know you're hungry. And if you want stickers, details in the description box down below. Email me, mike@mikeypipes.com. Description box down below this video. That's where the information is. Read through that. Read through that. All right? St. Mike commands thee. All right, let's get the day going. Good morning. You want the side door? Yeah? I'm just waiting for Daniel. He didn't close the side door. Daniel?
Nice. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm not worried about him. I sent you an email, but I didn't get a response from you.
Nice.
Today?
No, like when you first called to make this appointment.
Oh, I didn't see it.
No?
I might have went to spam or something.
Oh, I want to do the pressure control first.
Okay.
Because
Listen.
after doing some more due diligence and actually reviewing, what I did, I was like, you know what? The pressure control is no good. And if it's no good, you're going to have high pressure, which equals banging sounds and all that other crap. So and we need to replace it anyway. So let's try this first. We'll run it. And he'll get some experience with steam.
Okay.
And we'll be good. And your dog will not bark at us. Now, the last time I was here, we had a lot of laundry on the floor. But the biggest thing is we had a bunch of paint cans. And now they're all gone, except for that one right there. But you don't want to keep paint cans near the water heater, near the boiler. You don't want to do that because it's not good. All right, Daniel. So this is a steam boiler. The easiest way to know if it's steam or not is that you'll have a sight glass on it. And then plus you'll usually have bigger piping. But some larger homes have large piping like this, and it can also be hydronic heating, hot water heating. But where we live, in this area especially, a lot of homes have steam. And it's the second most efficient way of heating, as long as piping is insulated. And the reason why I say second most, because the first most efficient way of heating your house is radiant heat, hydronic radiant heat. It's at a much lower, the boiler or the heating system heats water to a much lower temperature as compared to a hydronic boiler, which is normally 180 degrees. So radiant, and plus the flooring, maintains that heat. Lower temperature heats up the first 5-6 feet of air above the floor, and the rest is cold. You don't need to heat up here, right? Second is steam. Those steam radiators, those cast iron radiators, once they get hot, they stay hot. And the only drawback with that is if you have little kids and they touch it, they won't touch it ever again. All right, cool so far?
Yeah.
Okay, let's review a few components. Pop quiz. What's this called?
Pressure control.
Oh, very good. What's this called?
The
Look at it. It says it.
low water cutoff.
Low water cutoff.
The ignition.
Yep, electronic ignition module.
Pilot assembly.
This whole thing. What's that called?
Burner assembly?
Gas valve.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Let's follow this little yellow wire right here. What is this guy called right there? That little safety, that little switch.
The, not overflow.
Close.
Rollout.
Yes, very good. All right, one more I'm looking for. And that is that one right there. What is that one called? That one right there.
Is that another rollout?
So this is called, let me correct you, this is called a spill switch. And that's called a rollout switch. This can be reset, that can't.
Okay.
That's a fusible link. It burns out once temperature gets to a certain point. What's that called?
Draft regulator.
Vent damper, automatic vent damper. Okay.
Why
Very-
is that there?
Why, what, this here?
Yeah.
So to gain a few efficiency points, this will close, and whatever latent heat remains here after the boiler call is off and the boiler is off, any latent heat or residual heat will come out of the boiler instead of going up the chimney. Actually gain some efficiency. But for what they cost to repair or replace, not worth it. Not worth it. And a lot of times you'll see these are manually set to open anyway, and they're always open instead of replacing it. All right. So in this particular boiler, the customer's complaint was banging sounds, once in a while water spitting out of some air radiator air valves, those little silver things, right? And I was here about a month ago, created a video, and this pressure troll does not turn off the boiler at pressure. Now, yes, I know that the pressure gauge is incorrect, doesn't accurately read, but when there's pressure in this boiler and I lower this all the way down, it does not turn the boiler off. And I'll open up the relief valve and you'll see steam coming out of there. This is not turning off the boiler. So during a call for heat, the pressure troll is not doing its job, and we're going to replace it. And then we're going to do a combustion test with the test filter. All right, first step, let's turn off the power to the boiler. Okay, now let's get a 1/4 inch, take that little set screw out. Very good. Now we're going to disconnect those two wires there. You're going to pull those two wires out of that little black grommet. Now you're going to spin off the pressure troll. You may be able to do it by hand.
All right.
Excellent. Now we're going to take off the rest of the Blue Monster, wrap it with some new, and then affix the new pressure troll. If you held the Teflon in the opposite direction, it'd be easier. Let me show you. Because right now, hold this. Because right now you're fighting against this, right? So let's take this off. Right. And let's hold it like that. All right. You want to go around 5 or 6 times. See, because I'm using the roll itself to create tension on that, and it'll go on much easier. So there's that. Now, you'll get the pressure troll out of the box. You notice it's a different type. This type I prefer over the one we just took off. It's got a little more fancier, more reliable. When we put something in, I like to be confident that's going to last for a while, unlike those Navian systems, right? But if I put this in, this is going to last. And this pigtail will get dirty years before this dies. This is not going to die. It's good, it's reliable. It comes with a premium, but more reliable than what I took out. And this model is right there by Honeywell, which is now called Residio. What are you doing?
Oh, a screw to take this off?
You don't have to take that off yet, but let's spin that on there. And let's see. It won't go on easy, will it? No. So what do you got to do?
You just angle that out.
You could try that, yeah. Don't go too much, but perfect. And the final turn, we'll use the wrench on there. That's Kev's replacement, the real channel lock. All right. And we'll spin that back up. Very good. Make sure she's nice and straight, which she looks like she is. Maybe give it a little extra on it. Much better. Good. Now, we'll take a flat screwdriver and remove that flat screw, which is then going to allow us to take off that clear cover.
Do you have like a button to put in here?
Well, we do. We can also use the grommet that's on the old one, right? Yeah. And shove that in there. Alternatively, I can get one from the truck, but we have one there. It's perfectly good. We'll shove that into the hole, and we'll take the 2 wires that went to the old one through that hole, and then make some connections. All right. This is a little too short for my liking, right? We're going to take this wire nut off, right? And then in my tool bag, the plastic thing, we'll use a 2-wire Wago connector to resplice that in a nicer way. We have this solid wire coming from, looks like the transformer here. We'll get a 2-wire Wago, which is right there. That's the Wago lever connector, 221. This is a 2-conductor Wago. Well, you gotta show them how we did that. We gotta feed the people. I'm gonna show you guys something pretty cool. This is the Knipex. It's a wire stripper, and Daniel's gonna show you how we use it to very easily do that. Strip that wire. Put that in there like that. Pull the trigger. Look at that.
Yes.
That was nice. Very nice. And you don't have to worry about trying to like cut the plastic insulation off with like a, a needle nose or whatever else you're going to use. So that goes there, and the other one goes on there. Perfect. And this is not going anywhere. It's beautiful. So now we'll wrap this around into there, and we'll cut the ends off, and we'll use our Johnstone Supply, this solderless terminal supply kit, and we'll use maybe this one to put on a connector at the end of this wire. Let's just keep that out of the way a little bit. You got a little extra slack there, perfect. So now cut that as needed, and then we're going to put this on. All right, we're going to use the Knipex. Perfect. Now let's see if this is going to work. I think this may be too small. Let's see if that'll go over the... No? Yes? Too tight?
Too tight.
Okay,
Yeah.
too tight. So let's go for... That's also going to be too tight. Let's go for this one. Right here. And then we'll use the Klein Tools strip crimper. All the way. Okay. Let's see how that looks. Give it a nice little tug. Very, very nice. Very nice. Okay. We have one other wire remaining, which is this orange wire. Mm-hmm. And that's coming from our automatic vent damper. Now, I think it's going to be a little bit too short in there, or we'll be all right?
I think it'll be good.
Okay. If we have to extend it, we'll use another Wago, and we'll use the... let's see how that works on the little wire. Look at that. Wow, it does all different gauge thickness of wire. Very nice. Now, let's use...
Blue one.
Very nice. We'll use that. And then we'll crimp that one on as well. All right, so we crimped the orange wire, which came from the automatic vent damper. That's one side of the safety circuit. And now Daniel's taking the 2 wires and connecting them to the two terminals. What made you pick the top and the bottom, by the way? There's 3 terminals there. Just a question. What made you pick this one and that one?
Just assumed
Assumed what?
that that's where it should go.
You know what happens when you assume something?
You break things.
No, you make an ass out of yourself. That's the saying. It's just a saying.
Mm-hmm.
Don't assume anything. If you don't know, let's defer to the manual. Did it come with a manual? Nope. But it didn't come with a manual, but now we have to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you know.
I don't know.
So if you don't know, defer to the instructions. So let's Google that.
At that point, that's what we want it to do.
Correct.
Break.
So we want to break on temperature rise. I'm sorry, pressure rise. So one Y is going to go on R, and the other one's going to go on B. If we were making on temperature rise, which I don't know why you would need that, but you would have R and W. So right now it's R and B are the 2 Y's, which equal, let's say R,
Yes.
and that says B.
Yes.
Perfect. Lucky guess. But don't assume ever.
Yeah. But that does seem weird that it would have an option.
Well, if you want to,
Make.
yeah. I guess if you want to maintain a certain pressure range at all times, then I guess you would have that. Let's say you had 2 of these. One is to be at a minimum pressure, and the other one's to be at a maximum pressure. I guess if you needed to constantly maintain a pressure, then that's what you would have. All right, so now that's secure. Let's take a look at the pressure control settings. All right, we have, let me zoom in a little bit there. On the left-hand side, that's our differential, which right now is set for 1.5, okay? And then the PSI, the main, right, it looks like it's set for 5. So we're gonna lower the differential to between 0.5 and 1. No. See, you're assuming, right? Ask question. This is not gonna let you do that. That screw right there is an adjustment screw.
Okay.
Get into a habit of always reading the manual of what comes with equipment
Okay.
fully. If you've never worked with it before, do that.
Okay.
All right, so you're between 0.5 and 1, perfect. And let's lower this to around 2, or between 2 and 4. You can also use a flat screwdriver. It's easier. Out of the Vito bag. All right, so let's keep that right around there. And according to US Boiler and Burnham Tech Support, that is where they like to keep it. Now, if we didn't have a differential, technically it should be set for between half a PSI and 1 pound. Why do I say that? Because Dan Holohan is the man, and he is a dead man of steam. And he's the author of that book I gave you, which you didn't read yet. Mm-hmm. See? But that's where Dan Holohan says to keep it. But this is where US Boil likes it. And I know this is not a US Boil, it's a Dunkirk, but that's where it's going. All right, what's next? Flip the switch on,
Yeah.
and then raise the heat on the thermostat. We want to run this boiler. We want to make sure that it turns off at pressure.
Do you know where the thermostat is?
I would walk upstairs and see if you see it in the living room or dining room. If not, if you see the homeowner there, ask him where, if he can raise it up for you. All right, Daniel just raised the thermostat on, and the first thing that happens is the vent damper is going to open. The vent damper is going to open as long as the other safety circuits, the other safety devices in the circuit are okay. And that's the rollout switch, spill switch, pressure control, low water cutoff, and as long as that circuit is good, we'll have ignition. Well, we'll have attempt ignition. All right, Daniel, this is the Testo 320. It's does similar things to what the one I bought you was, which I believe is a 310. Mm-hmm. Right? One of the biggest differences, this has a color display. So turn that on. We'll put the probe in, and then we'll go to combustion gas analysis, and I'll show you where the probe goes. Hold that. Now, look very, very carefully. Over here. This is the diverter, right? If I were to drill a hole here, that's not a good reading, right? We need to get above or before the diverter. This is the diverter, that's an air in, right? And we're gonna stick this, put you right there.
David Massa.
I'm gonna take that right there. And hopefully it stays there. We'll let this run. That stack temperature, if you, Steve Lab actually has a great cheat sheet on one of his testo videos from years ago. And by the way, Steve Lab, you know that guy who works on fake Taj Mahals? I learned about the Testo 320 from him. And when I because I was doing research on a better combustion analyzer that I had, because I had a back rack at the time that basically fell apart, and they told me I needed I should just buy a new one. So I did research, I found his YouTube channel, and I watched his Testo videos. And he actually has cheat sheets online on his videos, right? But I don't see any with steam. But steam, the temperature is going to be between 375 and maybe 450 degrees on a good boiler, good steam boiler. And as far as the oxygen and things like that, similar to a atmospheric regular boiler. And I'll show you what I use, which is, I have notes. Let me find it for you. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. There we go. And I took this from Steve Lab. So there's atmospheric gas fired boiler, stack temperature anywhere between 325 and 500. 500 is on the extreme side. You got a boiler that's 500 stack temperature, she is grossly inefficient. O2 between 4 and 9%, CO2 between 6.5 to 8%, and CO, right, carbon monoxide, should be under 50. Now, do you know why we have carbon monoxide as a byproduct of fuel that's being burnt?
Why we have it?
Yes, why is there carbon monoxide? Because we have incomplete combustion. If we had complete combustion, we'd have zero. And you'll notice on newer boilers, we'll have, show what we got here. On newer boilers, we'll have, 5 to 10, sometimes even close to 0 or 1. But you want to get that as low as possible, right? And if we really wanted to, and maybe we will, we can adjust the gas valve to manipulate these numbers and lower that even more, right? Because as long as my O2 is between 4 and 9, and my CO2, which is not on this screen, which is, where is it? CO2 is 8.26, so we're actually a little high on CO2. That needs to be under 8. So we're going to make some adjustments here. All right, so I made some adjustments. Now, the adjustments were made to the gas valve. Just for liability purposes, I'm not going to show you how to do that. Again, you should not touch this valve. This is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only, but I essentially lowered the gas pressure on the gas valve, and now my CO went down to under 7%. And if we take a look at our carbon monoxide, we're at 24, 25 ppm, while we still have, a good stack temperature coming out of the boiler, 334 it looks like degrees going up the chimney, and our gross efficiency is 83.5%. Not bad considering it's a steam boiler, right? Not bad. Questions?
Why is the water bouncing up and down?
Why is the water bouncing around?
Is it just because it's boiling in there?
Well, it is boiling, but it's also, it's not really surging, but the water is boiling inside there, and that's just an outside example of what's going on inside there. All right? That's what's going on inside the boiler. And if we were to, let's say, wait a little bit longer, eventually the pressure troll is going to reach that. And if you want, we can actually lower that dial down and you'll see it turn off. As long as we have enough pressure in there. So let's bring that down. Just don't go too down, but keep going. All right, now while we're waiting for us to build up some more pressure, what's this called?
Pigtail.
Okay, what does it do? Do you know? It protects the pressure troll from the latent heat of the system.
Okay.
It's kind of like acts as a siphon or a trap, right? And as long as this is clear, and as long as this is clear, and there's a free passage from the boiler to here, right, with nothing blocking it, the pressure troll will sense pressure when it builds up and turn off the boiler. All right, so now the boiler finally turned off, right? We adjusted the pressure troll a little bit. Differential's at 0.5, and the pressure looks like, the PSI looks like it could be about 1, right? And the boiler turned off, right? Now, what did you raise the thermostat to?
80s.
Okay. And I think it's 80 degrees up there?
No.
Okay. So the system is off on pressure, right? And if we lift up the relief valve, right, briefly, we'll see what we have in here. Right now we have nothing, right? So let's raise up the PSI to right around 2. Right there is good. Okay, so now we're at 2 PSI. And as you can hear, the vent damper is opening because now the safety circuit is complete. Everything is fine. Pressure troll is okay. Low water cutoff is okay. Rollout switch is okay. Spill switch is okay. And once the switch inside here, right, closes, proving that it's open, we get 24 volts to the ignition module, which then creates spark, and then we have ignition. Make sense? Okay. And the last thing that we're gonna do is make sure it turns off at 2 PSI. We're not gonna touch it again. We're gonna make sure that turns off at 2 PSI, and then make sure it turns back on again once the pressure dissipates in the system. Cool? All right. In the interim, we took some readings here, right, with our Testo 320. I paused it and I hit clipboard, all right? And now we're gonna do draft. So we're gonna take this out, put this down on the floor. Remember, the tip is hot. You know, if this is carpet here, you do not want to put it on carpet. You don't want to put it on something plastic. You don't want to put anything that's going to burn, because that is 340 degrees. We're going to hit escape, and we're going to go to draft measurement, and it's going to hit start, and it's going to zero out for about 11 seconds. And then once that's zeroed out, we're going to do a draft reading. And this is the last one I did, which was on August 17th. So a few weeks ago I was here. So she's ready to go. We're gonna take this probe and again, stick it in there.
Same way.
All right, and we're looking for negative pressure, just like that. All right, but we also wanna go back up to the stack temperature that we were at before, which is around 340 degrees. So if this is at 340 degrees, we're at or around, and we have negative pressure, we're good. So we're gonna let this sit and see what happens. All right, 330 degrees, negative pressure. I'm gonna hit clipboard, and then we'll take this out and we'll print the results. Okay. Very nice. What are we missing? No, something's missing here. It just did the draft. What is missing? Let's try this again. It didn't accept it didn't clipboard. Let's go back. All right, I already clipboard that. Let's go back, escape. All right, back to flue gas. Okay. All right, let's stick this back in there. For whatever reason, it didn't clipboard when I hit that clipboard button. So let's do that again. All right, let's see if it took it this time. It's not seeing the eye. It's infrared. There's a sensor there. Oh, or it turned off. We may have to do it again. Let's see if it does it all. There we go. Here's all the data that we're looking for. There it is. Very nice. And once I'm done printing, I get these shipping package label thingies, baggies from Uline, and I stick the results in there, and then I take a picture of this, and it goes on the invoice as well. So you know heating season is right around the corner, right?
Yeah.
You better read that book. The book is called We've Got Steam Heat, or You've Got Steam Heat. Let me show you real quick. Here's the book on Amazon. As you can see, I purchased it a few times. It's written by Dan Holohan. Great guy. He's got a couple of great books. It's a $25 book, and it's written in such a way where the average typical homeowner can live in peace with a steam system like this. Highly recommend it. There'll be a link down in the description box down below. Great guy as well, from Long Island. Awesome guy. Bethpage, New York. But very good stuff here. What'd you learn today, Daniel?
Learned that this keeps latent heat off of pressure control.
Very good.
It's called the gas valve, and then you can adjust it.
Yes, you can adjust it. That is correct. One thing that we didn't do, that I didn't show you, is after you make an adjustment, you need to make sure that the gas pressure is at the minimum rated for the boiler. So for here, the manifold gas pressure, 3.5 inches water column. So we need to make sure that it's still putting out 3.5 inches on that gas manifold.
It's good to take off while it's running.
No,
Okay.
good question. I was waiting for you to ask something.
Okay,
Well, if you open that up, you're gonna have gas coming out of it, right?
Yeah.
So let's turn the switch off. Now you could undo that. Do you have your Wheaties this morning, Daniel? Apparently not. Oh, Daniel. It's all about the leverage, Daniel. Oh. Oh. Using his noggin. Using his noggin. It's all about the leverage. Look at that. Oh, more Wheaties. You'll do it. Stubborn. She's very, very stubborn. All right, so you're loosening out. There's a cap in there, right, which is now gone. Don't lose that cap. Now, this is going to be carefully thread onto there. And then we'll take a pressure reading with it running. All right, the Testo 320, we have it in pressure testing, and it's zeroing out. Okay, very good. We're going to take this tube that's coming from there. One-headed Mike's trying to do it. Now, turn that switch on, and we'll see what kind of pressure we're working with. It's going to go through the startup sequence, a low water cutoff. That's going to open or close based on what's going on. And then we'll test and see what the manifold pressure is. Okay, we have spark on the pilot assembly. Gas valve is opening. 0.56, 1, slowly opening valve. Waiting for main fire. And it looks like we're at 2.77 inches of water column. So we're too low,
Yeah.
right? So we need to make that higher. Okay. Grab that flat screwdriver, and we're gonna make some adjustments here. Okay. Now I went clockwise before, so now we're going to go counterclockwise on that to open that up. Right? There's a lot more pressure in there. So give that a quarter turn. And we're going to make that go to 3.5 inches water column. Sorry, I misspoke. We're going to go clockwise on that. And we're going to bring this to 3.5 inches exactly. A little bit more. Let's see. See if go just a hair. Yep. Let's go a hair in reverse. I'll get that exactly at 3.5 inches. Almost. Almost. Okay. All right, I'm cool with 3.49. Oh, that's pretty good. That's cool. All right, let's put the cap back on. Let's put the cap back on. Let's turn off the switch. Put the cover back on. Oh, look at that. Pressure troll doing its job. Look at that. Good old pressure troll. Lovely, sexy pressure troll. All right, so now that's we can take that off safely because there's no gas flowing through it. You put that cap back on with the Allen key, and because we adjusted the gas valve, now we have to do another combustion test. Okay. Daniel asked a good question. You know, should he make this finger tight or hand tight, the cap that's on the gas valve? You know, when we put this on, I just put it on finger tight because it's not that hard. It's not that easy to get on there. So just enough so we can get a good pressure reading. And nonetheless, the boiler kicked off due to pressure, then turned back on. So now I know my pressure control is good and we'll be good to go. So you got some good, valuable knowledge today. Question?
Yeah, why? Like, it just went off, and it's just gonna go back on that quick?
Yeah, the pressure differential.
Does that make it, like, any less efficient?
No, not at all. But it turned off on pressure, right? What we could do also, if you wanted to, we could raise that up a little bit, right? The main, so maybe like make it to 2, or a little bit of hair above 2. Again, U.S. boiler likes it that way. You went the wrong way. A little bit more. Go between like a little bit more. Keep going. Right about there. Cool. All right. Excellent. All right. So let's pack it up and clean up, get up out of here. And I didn't forget. We are setting a new milestone today. Do you know that, Danielson?
It's 20,000?
Yes. And let's see. Oh my God, so close. So effing close. Hold on, can you see the screen? Where is it? Just a hair short. 19,990 subscribers. We're 10 away from 20,000 subscribers. But I think we're going to hit 20,000 today. I really do. Because normally we get like 100 subscribers a day. Normally, new ones. So I really appreciate the community for supporting the channel. It's awesome. It just motivates me to create more and more videos and document what I do and, you know, show how certain jobs should be done the right way, professional way. But I have a great feeling that we're going to hit 20,000 subscribers today. And I'm going to have to do a live stream. I'm going to have to do a live stream and do the live stream giveaway. And it's going to be this evening. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you're a subscriber. Make sure you thumbs up this video. Let me get your thoughts and feedback down in the comment section down below. If you think I could have done something better, or show me if I did something wrong, but also helps out Daniel because he's a young service tech. He's coming up in this world, and the more he knows, the more he's going to earn and provide for himself and for his family. Facts. If you want any free stickers, email me, Mike at MikeyPipes. All right, Daniel. What do you think? We did a great job?
I think so.
Think so? You learned? All right. Let me just show them how we entered this all into Service Pal, because I know you guys are hungry. All right. Here is my Service Pal app. I'm just covering up the customer's information there. Top left-hand corner, my company information, along with all the licensing information. Invoice number, today's date. And here's what we did. Replaced steam boiler pressure control. We set to 2 PSI and 5 differential. We cycled it multiple times, tested okay, performed combustion and draft analysis, and we set manifold pressure to 3.5 inches of water column. You put your line items in, the labor, and the items that we used. No need for them to, I don't like to discuss pricing on here, but everyone knows that the labor rates of my company are $195 and $225 respectfully. All right, let me show you page 2. So here's page 2. I got one block that's dedicated for combustion analysis. You can see there's the numbers there. Another picture is the equipment picture and the boiler itself. And down there, that's the part that we used. So we like to detail and document everything. And down in the section, in the notes section down below, we could make some notes that's also visible to the customer. It is what it is, you know, notes that maybe you had discussion with, or just, you know, dog on premises, or use side door, or knock on side door, things like that. Don't need to go there. This screen right here, you hit that little plus button. Hit that plus button. Right? We can add a note. See? Touch note. And then we could type in a note here, and we'll have this information available for future service calls. So let's say, for example, doorbell broken, or call customer when on the way if he doesn't want a text message, or dog on premises, or things like that. It's kind of like just like House Call Pro. So I don't like House Call Pro or Service Titan. I happen to love Service Pal. And there's a link down in the description box down below if you are a small contractor, regardless of what you do. You could be a roofer, a chimney sweeper, carpenter, anything where you want to do mobile dispatching and invoicing and also payment receiving. You know, when I swipe a card in here, I'm not paying that stupid rate like Square charges, like 3% or 2.75. I pay a much less percentage, you know, that merchant processing fee. So again, I've been with Service Pal for almost 10 years. I am customer number 2 with them. Great company. They're located in California, and great support from the from the app developer. Amazing app, and it's relatively cheap. All right, hope you enjoyed this video. Be well, God bless, stay safe.